who have joined the webcast. Very good morning to all of you. I hope you're all enjoying getting back to campus after 2 years and had a good time on Holi. Though, Professor, with organic colors, we don't see the remnants of Holi on anybody's faces anymore.
Yes, it was wonderful on the field yesterday to see the students back.
But I'll certainly take you up on your invitation to visit one of the campuses, because I truly believe that while in the initial period of COVID-19, we all thought that video conferencing is just great and we are able to become much more efficient, the output increase in the initial period. I think there's nothing to beat the benefit of physical bonding and connect. And I would have loved to interact with your students personally and also learn from the immense energy our young boys and girls display today. I'm told you have a wonderful Saraswati temple, Sharda Peeth at the Pilani campus. And I bow to Goddess Saraswati, whose blessings have certainly been endowed and showered on all your students over the years. In fact, I also kind of feel connected to BITS because you gave us an alumni, one of the most illustrious persons ever to be in Indian politics, Shri Nanaji Deshmukh, who in some sense was an inspiration for my own mother when she entered politics maybe 50 odd years ago. Steve Jobs had once said, innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. And your institute has literally made history, as you just shared with us. Over probably 10% of India's unicorns come out of the BITS ecosystem. And very fact that you're producing innovators and risk takers who, after completing engineering, make India proud, diversifying into different fields. I believe even Mani Shankar, the Bollywood director, comes from BITS. And our business leader, Baba Kalyani, whose sage guidance and advice I take very often when we are navigating our own efforts to expand and modernize the Indian manufacturing ecosystem. So truly, I feel blessed to be able to share my thoughts with your team. And there can be nothing more powerful than an idea. And that idea comes out of the knowledge that you gain at BITS. And therefore, in today's knowledge economy, your own motto, which Shubh was just saying in Sanskrit, knowledge is supreme power, in a way reflects the culture of your organization. My best wishes to every student on this call and all the other young boys and girls at BITS Pilani, who I'm sure will do wonderful work in innovation and entrepreneurship in the years to come. In fact, I personally believe the 4 essential elements that are required for a healthy startup ecosystem, whether it's good laboratories, whether it's mentorship and handholding, whether it's the incubators or funding, all of them are available in immense measure at your esteemed institution. Your center of incubation is extremely well known. And to my mind, this flexible academic structure that you have built up resonates in large measure with the new education policy that the government has recently announced after extensive consultations with academicians and all experts in the field of academia from different walks of life. I think many other colleges can learn from the BITS model of how to create or how to encourage job creators rather than job seekers. Of course, India has done well in the startup ecosystem, but I do believe we are still at the cusp of a massive takeoff. We saw the evolution of Silicon Valley in the US, and the initial years are always the tougher years, where you are creating the culture of entrepreneurship, where you are encouraging innovation. And I think the last 6 years, after the Startup India movement was launched on 16 January 2016, India, having made rapid strides, we are the third largest ecosystem in the world today, is well poised to take on the best in the world. And I'm sure all our young friends on the call today will also make this country and all of us proud with their achievements in the years to come. It has been very appropriately suggested that an idea can change your life. I think one of your innovators, Mr. Ajay Bhatt from Vadodara, who developed data portable like never before, is a shining example of how the knowledge economy, technology, and the self-confidence that our youth have today can bring about change. And it's not often that everybody gets a chance to bring about major change. I'm sure if we take it upon ourselves that we're going to look at new ideas boldly, one can make significant change, whether it is in society, whether it is in ease of doing business, whether it is in ease of living, bringing convenience in our lives, in the people's lives, bringing integrity and honesty to all processes, whether it's an admission process to an institute or it is government functioning, everything can be transformed by using good technology, high levels of transparency, and innovative thinking. For that matter, if you see the recent movie, The Kashmir Files, I'm given to understand the budget is only 15 crores. I was reading this morning, the collections have probably already crossed 100 crores. And it's become like a pre-awakening or bringing about a consciousness which the nation should have seen 32 years ago. But the fact is that every small step also can make revolutionary change in the lives of the people of a country. And similarly, our startups demonstrate that with very small budgets to begin with, ramping up from the seed capital that one is able to get, our young boys and girls, at great pain to personal life, to personal convenience, families, has the ability to bring about big changes. And entrepreneurship is all about disruption. In India, we are witnessing disruptions across the board, whichever area you look at. The way we buy goods, shopping online now more often than not amongst the large section of the population. Our healthcare has undergone tremendous change with digital consultations, telemedicine, record keeping getting online, and more work all across the country towards digital lockers or data storage in such a fashion that it can actually make access to treatment much easier, particularly for the less privileged and marginalized sections of society, many of whom may be far away from their own homes, working to make a living. And medical records may not easily be accessible where they are. Our payment ecosystem Fintech has just completely transformed it, particularly with UPI. So fundamental changes are visible all over the country, all over the world, and in our own lives. I mean, probably Professor Sundar and I of the old school of thought still read our morning newspaper. We don't feel comfortable without the feel of the newsprint. But I suspect probably half of you have already converted to only online news and remain far more educated, remain far more alive to what's happening in the world on a real-time basis than many of us. So truly the world is changing. And that's truly the spirit with which each one of our young boys and girls who comes out of BITS Pilani is going to look at the world. We may encounter failures along the line. We all do. I have yet to meet somebody who can say that all his life has been just one rosy way all the way up. And it could be failure in different forms. A professor may feel I've failed to make a good child out of a student. A businessman may feel I've failed to make profit this year or I failed to grow this year. A government servant may feel I've not been able to really help the country do better, the people do better. A politician may feel he's lost an election. We were down to 2 seats, the BJP, in 1984. Circumstances. But you don't collapse. You stand up, persevere, work even harder, probably become bolder, engage, work with newer ideas, newer people, newer thoughts, and without being afraid of failure, wake up again. And true geniuses, true entrepreneurs are those who are willing to stand up again and again and again. Because as they say, I may have failed 7 times, but I'll always try again so that then my number of attempts will be 8. I'll be 1 up. I'm told John F. Kennedy also never won a single election all his life. Until the first election he won was the president of the John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln. My apologies. Abraham Lincoln failed in every election. But the first election he won was the president of the United States of America. Was not even very successful in various businesses. But he persevered, worked for his country, gave back to his country. And therefore, we really need to imbibe this spirit of entrepreneurship. Failures are a part of our journey. And we should take it light, as you call it in BITS Pilani. Remain calm. Let it happen. Let it go along. And plan for another day. Success always stays with you. Failures don't. And the new India that we are all experiencing, that we are all living, where all of you are going to embark on your journey of life, is filled with new energy, is an enthusiastic India. It's a self-confident India. Today, India is not looking for incremental change. Those days are over. We are looking for bold, transformative steps. We are looking to engage with the world from a position of strength, which is what Atmanirbharta is all about. When you're talking of Atmanirbhar Bharat, it's our self-confidence that has to be on display. Our ability to work across borders, across oceans with confidence. Engage with the rest of the world, with our peers, with society, from a position of strength. Our convictions. We are not closing India's doors to the world. We are in fact opening them wider because we have the confidence in our innate abilities to succeed and to do better and even better. I think the ambitions that our young boys and girls have today are truly very, very encouraging. And therefore, India's tomorrow is going to be about info technology and Indian talent. That's the IT plus IT is equal to IT model that Prime Minister Modi had spoken about. Information technology plus Indian talent will equal India's future. And to celebrate your successes, to celebrate the successes of all our young entrepreneurs, now the entire country is going to celebrate 16th January as National Startup Day. We in India are leading in several areas, be it fintech, health tech, agri-tech. Newer and newer areas are opening up for our young boys and girls. We are also building digital public infra now. The connectivity that's going to the length and breadth of the country, the way smartphones are penetrating throughout the nation, how data costs have come down significantly. All of these are signals of a disruptive foundation that we are building for India. And we are building all of this at scale. We're not looking at small elements that, okay, all the cities in the country will get digitally connected or will have broadband. We are looking at saturation levels of 100%. Every village in the country, every nook and corner of the country should benefit from broadband, should be digitally connected. Can take education to the remotest parts of India and provide high quality education all across the country today. Whether it's India stack, whether it's health stack, whether it's our logistics stack, whether it's the COVID app, our vaccination program with over 180 crore vaccines, one of the most modern back-end technology systems, which, frankly, if you ask me, is not neighbor's envy and owner's pride, as the old Onida had said. It's the world's envy and owner's pride. And I think with this kind of digital connectivity, digital infrastructure being built, we should now be looking at the next trillion-dollar company coming out of India. We are working in a small measure to create a new stack or a new network, just like UPI, for digital commerce, open network for digital commerce, the ONDC. And I would urge all of you to probably study a little more about the plans of ONDC. Nandan Nilekani, Adil Zainulbhai, and a team of very, very enthusiastic innovators is working to democratize e-commerce so that millions of small mom and pop stores all over the country, small retail, does not get extinguished like we have seen in the West, but gets an equal opportunity to engage using digital technologies to protect their businesses, grow their businesses, and serve their customers with modern ways of delivery. Frankly, many countries in the world today are learning from India. I'm told a lot of our young boys and girls contribute immensely, whether in India or from located in other parts of the world, to the IT ecosystem. Our exports from India itself on the IT and the whole related ecosystem will be probably $150 billion, probably by this year or latest by next year. The target is to make this industry a $1 trillion industry. And this kind of scale of digitization is something unheard of. I don't know, Professor Sundar, you may actually consider if 2 or 3 of your young students, or maybe it could even be a topic of a PhD thesis, to study the scale at which India is implementing our entire digitalization program and the way in which entrepreneurship coming out of innovation on the back of massive digitization is taking roots in the country. And the government is only acting as a facilitator. Whether it's the seed capital scheme, the fund of funds to promote our startups, whether it's income tax exemption for 3 years, whether it's the various reductions in registration charges of patents and copyrights and trademarks, the faster and low-cost approvals that we are trying to give for our young startups in every single way. We are just looking to act as a facilitator so that instead of creating impediments, which usually was the historical reality, today we are hand-holding our young boys and girls to be big, to think big, dream big, be bold, and act wisely. In fact, the last National Startup Awards had so many young entrepreneurs, winners from remote areas like Lucknow in UP, Sonipat, Kochi down south. So our young boys and girls from the remote parts of India are also making us proud. You know that we've had some very good startups from entrepreneurs from Bihar and Odisha also. So world is changing. We have democratized the startup ecosystem. And therefore, I would urge each one of you to explore your ideas with confidence. Look at how each one of us, and everything need not be about technology alone. Technology is only a backbone. There cannot be a startup or a technology which doesn't have a physical front end for its stakeholders, for the consumer. So it's the marriage between technology and the physical world which is going to define the India of tomorrow. And towards that end, I can only make a few suggestions to all of you. In some sense, some action agenda for you to deliberate upon. I think we need to see a larger scaling up of diversity in our startup ideas, new businesses, looking at, after all, what's the biggest ecosystem in the country today? It's agriculture. We can see huge opportunities in the agri-tech field. Second largest employment generator is textiles, our handlooms, our handicrafts. The textile ecosystem can do with a lot of modernization and technology. Education, of course, has got a big leg up during COVID-19. So all of these, to my mind, provide newer ideas, newer opportunities, and therefore we need to look at significant diversification in our technology ecosystem, our startup ecosystem. Similarly, we need to innovate in newer areas, emerging technologies like the metaverse or the Web3 or artificial intelligence. Now, 5G is another area where we are seeing some developments happening within the country. A major challenge for all of us in government, in the private sector, is cybersecurity. We are looking for low-cost solutions on cybersecurity, but effective, of course. So there are many examples all over the world in our day-to-day lives that will give us big ideas, newer ideas. And these technologies will really converge to create newer opportunities for our young boys and girls. Third, I think we are all conscious of our responsibilities to the planet. Sustainability is the need of the hour. Circular economy opens up huge potential for technology. We can think of ideas around the 3 Rs: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Each one of them opens up opportunities. And I think the challenge of sustainability, in a way, is going to provide the next set of big business opportunities for all of us. Solutions for climate change, our electric vehicle or mobility solutions, one of the largest sources of pollution. Water management, we've all heard that old idiom that the next war could possibly be fought on water. Probably a little dated, because now we already have significant problems around the world. But truly, water is something we've seen the kind of problems Malaysia and Singapore faced. Within our country, you see the problems around water, interstate distribution of waters or flow of waters. Huge challenges before the country. So therefore, young friends, as the legendary Elon Musk had once said, and I quote, "It is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary." Future belongs to all of you, young friends. It'll be your courage to pursue your dreams that will define India of tomorrow. Your innovations should reach not only the nook and corner of the country, but across the world. Somewhat like your Hyderabadi biryani did. And it is all of you, the startups of today, the leaders of tomorrow, with deep innovation, deep big dreams, new ideas, cutting across sectors, who will help this country attain higher and higher levels of prosperity, meet the aspirations of billion plus fellow Indians who still are looking for a stake, a partnership, so that they can enjoy the fruits of development that some of you and all of us have been privileged to receive, but are very conscious of our responsibilities collectively. As Prime Minister says, "Sabka prayas lage," to take the country to greater heights. Thank you, young friends.
Thank you, sir. This was certainly an illuminating experience. I'm confident that your valuable insights will resonate with the aspiring entrepreneurs among our audience. With this, I would now like to call upon Anushka Chaudhary, President of Esel, and Nikhil Kumar Gupta, Launchpad Chairman, to declare the summit officially open.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. I, Anushka Chaudhary, the President of the Entrepreneurship Cell, am delighted to welcome you all to Launchpad 2022. Over the years, the Entrepreneurship Cell has brought momentum and energy in one's thoughts, dreams, and vision, and made them realize their potential as an entrepreneur. And as a part of this motive, Launchpad is held every year to celebrate the entrepreneurial and innovative spirit across the nation. Every edition, we try to exceed the last one, try to develop, grow, and enhance the entrepreneurship culture on campus. Months of preparation, hours of Google Meets, late nights in canteens, sandbox, hundreds of checklists, hectic schedules, all of that hustle has ultimately come to this. Launchpad 2022 in all its grandeur. I'm confident that this edition will allow all of us to reach our very maximum potential, and it will inspire us to carry forward our dreams and ambitions. While facing extreme trials in the past few years, entrepreneurship and the spirit of innovation has helped in reviving and strengthening our core as a society. The same being the inspiration for this year's theme, Resurrecting the Raised. We could not have pulled this event off without our very hardworking executive team. Sushobhit Srivastava, Secretary, Sonakshi Mishra, Vice President, Events and Learnings, Yashav Gupta, Vice President, Projects and Initiatives, Sneh Challani, Editorial Head, Sambhav Jain, Design Head, and Pratyush Chaudhary, Videography Head. Now I would like to call upon Nikhil Kumar Gupta, Launchpad 22 Chairman, to officially declare the event open.
Thank you, Anushka. Hello, everyone. Launchpad for me is more than a summit. It is a community, an opportunity to share the spirit of entrepreneurship with everyone. It is an incredible platform to exchange ideas, inspire innovation, provide collaboration, and network with the entrepreneurial community at large. As a part of the second online edition of Launchpad, we are hosting an incredible speaker lineup, business plan competitions, investor panels, and other highlighted events. We have worked with endless passion and dedication to overcome the challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic and an online workspace to ensure an enriching and empowering experience for all our attendees. Launchpad is meant to represent an ideal of entrepreneurship that is embodied by the words "Go as far as you can," and when you get there, you will be able to see further. And keeping up with this edition is aimed at inspiring and motivating attendees to follow their ambitions with relentless determination as we recover from the after effects of the pandemic. We believe that there is nothing that can keep you from achieving your goals if you are focused, determined, and dedicated to the goals. So, as a part of this event, you will envision your success, set your aims, and experience the insights of some of the startup ecosystem's most innovative minds. I would like to thank Dr. Parikshit Sahitya, Dr. Harish Viksit, and Director Professor J. Sundar for their constant support and guidance. Last but not the least, I would like to give a special mention to the executive team behind the day and my entire organizing committee. Anmol Bajpai, Publicity Head, Sneh Chalani, Editorial Head, Sambhav Jain, Design Head, Aryaman Rathod, Events Head, Sushobhit Srivastava, Technical Head, Sahaj Dhingra, Sponsorship Head, Shum Mansinga, Internship Drive Head. On this note, with all my heart, I, Nikhil Kumar Gupta, Launchpad Chairman, declare Launchpad 22 officially open. Thank you.
All the best. Thank you, friends. I'll take leave with your permission, Professor Sundar.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal. That was most inspiring and instructive, certainly for me, and I'm sure for my young friends also. Thank you, and we look forward to interacting with you further.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Journey of Launchpad 22 has now been completed. I would like to thank all those present here for joining in.
Okay, thank you very much, and have a good time. And I hope it's as exciting as, if not more so, than you have planned it to be. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We will now be having a highlighter session with Ms. Kiran Majumdar Shaw, the founder and executive chairman of Biocon. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.